welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are still with by Yak T'el. It might be that the last several episodes might have a little audio issue. I hope I get it fixed, but yeah, if that happened, it happened. Anyway, we wanted to continue. And well, the promise of peace. I think it's time we return to Tulliyolal. After scaling Tulliyol's tallest mountain and battling a legendary beast to the death, even dauntless heroes like you could probably use a rest. In any case, there are preparations to be made before we can visit the next destination late out in the saga. The respite would be most welcome. I believe I hear the forward cabins calling our names. Goodbye. There's still 2 feats left to go. We want to face them refreshed and ready for action. I won't say no to clean sheets and a soft pillow. No sooner did we get set foot back into Tulliyolal, but I felt the weight of recent events set in all at once. I'm definitely due for a long nap. I'll take the opportunity to think on some things. Rest well, everyone. We can meet back here later on. I have a small errand to run in the city, so I'll leave you to recover. Will you be heading to the palace, Valigarmanda? Valigarmanda, did you hear me? Lost to no little word, it seems. Well, no matter. I'll be back soon enough. An attendant is standing by to unlock your cabin. Enjoy your stay. Okay. Who are we meeting? Because what you have to walk here probably means we're meeting someone. Welcome back, Mrs. Klingor. Your cabin is just as you left it, minus a light layer of dust.
You have a moment?
Mm-hmm.
There's something I wanted to talk to you about.
Alright. What is it?
So,
Come on, spit it out.
It's just too stuffy in here, that's what. We should go outside. Aye, a nice walk in the fresh air. That's what we need.
Alright. I mean, it certainly isn't stuffy in there, considering this thing is open to the water. Sorry to drag you away from your nice, comfortable cabin, but I could feel the walls closing in. Oh, I know. I'll take you to one of my favorite places in Tulliyolal. That should help me get my thoughts in order. We go to the Resplendent Quarter and make our way up from there. I once more have a perfect weather for this. Oh, hello, dear. You one of Vuklaman's new friends? Peshiba, what are you doing up and about? Is your back feeling better? It's much healed now, so don't make a fuss. Besides, I can't be lounging in bed all day when you're out there fighting your hardest to win the throne. You have a claimant for the greatest love for peace. I love this nation of ours, and lending you my support is the least I can do. When I see you smile like that, there's plenty more who believe in your cause. I can recruit a whole battalion of smiling faces if you think it'll help. Yours alone is more than enough. Thank you, Peshiva. And thank you for the promise. I shall pray for your success in the contest. All those smiling faces. Sorry, Desiree. I'm getting distracted. It's just that with the progress we've made in the contest, even these everyday encounters feel that much more special. Do you think we can take our time and maybe wander around a little first? And we can head to that spot I was thinking of.
This is much better. I used to come here all the time when I was little. I'd look out over the whole city, and whatever worries I had would seem so small. Do you remember what I said at the top of Warkor Zormor? That I would fight to preserve Papa's peaceful Tural? Well, I've been thinking a lot since then. About what peace really means. If it's just the absence of war. And it brought to mind all the best parts of our journey so far.
The smiling faces.
I realized nothing gives me greater joy than the happiness of others. Life has its ups and downs, but the company of family and friends and the music of their laughter is what makes it worth living. And as silly as it might sound, I've come to believe that those smiling faces are the best measure of peace.
That's the sort of thing I'd expect you to say.
Really? I feel proud somehow. It's an answer I arrived at by trying to be true to myself. That you think I succeeded, it means a lot. So, this is my plan. When I become Dawn Servant, I'll build on Papa's peace. Our people will live together in happiness. It's just like Kryl said.
That was pretty cute. If I was there myself, I would be super embarrassed by that display, but it was cute.
By taking the time to hear their concerns, understand their feelings, and consider how best to serve, with each passing day, I'll be that much closer to becoming the leader I want to be. It's hard for me to say how much I've changed since the contest began. But there's one thing I can say with confidence. I wouldn't have come this far without you as allies. If it wasn't for you all listening and feeling and thinking along with me, I would have never learned so much, and in so short a time.
Here for your thing, huh?
There are 2 keystones left. After everything that's happened, and imagining what could happen, are you still willing to walk this path with me? Thank the gods for that. Well, I've nothing else to get off my chest. I need to head to the palace, but I'll see you back at the cabins.
Sleeping in full battle armor here. It's always so silly for me. Time to get back to work. I don't know, have you slept well? You look to be in good spirits. I assume your leisure time was well spent? I was glad to snatch some quality sleep myself. After all, it will soon be back to the roads for us. Peaceful intentions. The leap to Yak T'el. I'm sure the others will be along shortly. I do hope everyone has rested well. Now that we have refreshed ourselves somewhat, let us consider all claimants as they currently stand. Zoalja and Kana have completed every feat thus far and hold 5 keystones apiece. Vuklamat would be equal to them, but for Bakuljaja's thievery, which has left us one short. That conniving braggart didn't so much as lift a finger for a feat of proof and wreaked havoc for a feat of ice. He can't have more than 3 keystones at most. He may think he can simply steal what he needs to win, but he is sorely mistaken. I will be taking back what's mine, this I swear. I fear that reclaiming your keystone may not be enough. That is, if Bakuljaja's unleashing of Valigarmanda is any indication. Using his lead, I anticipate that he will move to obtain the remaining keystones before disrupting his rival's attempts. We may all find ourselves being forced to take from one another. I can't say I'd be comfortable with that. But neither will I surrender my claim to the throne so easily. If it's for the sake of preserving the happiness of my people, I do what I must. The last 2 keystones we require are those of the Lay of Repast and the Lay of the Brotherhood. The former depicts the cessation of hostilities between the Mamulja and Jebral in the forests of Yak T'el, specifically near a village called XIV. That's where I was born, if you recall. I haven't been back there since Papa took me in when I was a baby. Where the Lay of Brotherhood takes place, however, is unclear. In the saga it's said that a foreign explorer came seeking an audience with a Dawn Servant, but little more than that. Eorzea has a similar tale. The explorer Ketenram befriended a 2-headed king known as the Autarch before commencing his travels across Tural. He journeyed here several times afterwards, but was ultimately lost at sea. At least, that is what commonly held belief. Your 2-headed king certainly sounds like Papa, so this Ketenram fellow must have come to Tulliyolal. But if he indeed arrived some 80 years ago, the Capelden may not have been built yet, vestiges of Yak architecture notwithstanding. Wait, you said Autarch, didn't you? Then Ketenram must have met the Dawn Servant in Mamuk. Mamuk? Is that a city? One of the grandest in Tural, once upon a time, the seat of a Mamulja's homeland. It too lies in Yak T'el, not far from XIV. When all things considered, Yak T'el seems the obvious choice for our next destination. From here, the safest method to travel is by dirigible. We should make for a landing once our preparations are complete. We're riding one of Korana's balloons? They can't be any worse than ships, can they? I'll be fine. Just fine. How exciting. The design of Turali dirigibles intrigues me. I must note how they perform compared to Eorzean airships. For as much as I wish we could ignore him, Bakuljaja is a real threat. We can't afford to let our guard down. Yak T'el. The Yak dreamed of a golden city. Ready to leave when you are? The next flight to Yak T'el will be leaving shortly. Passengers are asked to keep hands, legs and luggage inside of a dirigible at all times. Are you sure that thing will stay in there? All the way to Yak T'el? Are you ready? Bags packed, goodbye set. Best not going back once we lift off. Not when I'm nervous or anything. Just making sure that you're not nervous. Oh, who am I kidding? My knees won't stop shaking. Hey, will you hold my hand? Just until I settle my nerves? Of course. You're the nicest person I've ever met, Desiree. I'll try not to crush your hand. There she is! Third promise! Wait just a moment. Mablon, Dobry! Of course, I'll wait as long as you need. Sorry to delay you, but we were able to discover the origin of Christ's earring. Is that so? You said before that it gained popularity in Yak T'el as a protective ward for travelers, correct? That's right, we tracked down the elderly merchant to whom forced sales were attributed. According to him, the design imitates an accessory worn by a foreign mage he met at the market some 20 years ago. Little did he know that charming taste of salt would prove to be a commercial triumph. A foreign mage wearing this earring could only be grandfather. Did the merchant happen to mention which market? One in Yak T'el, to where it seems you are already bound. What luck! Then I shall seek my next clue once we arrive. Is it mere coincidence that brought my grandfather there, or yet another discovery to look forward to? Thank you both for coming all this way. Anything for the third promise? Good luck with the rest of the ride. Thanks. I won't let you down. I just got too bored with the ritual and I'm as good as there. Last call for passengers to Yak T'el. I really hope she wins. Yak T'el will test her mettle without a doubt. The next servant must be willing to bear the full weight of his nation's history, no matter how heavy it may be.
The fierce Chapral hunters who laid claim to this land call it the Azure Forest, Yak T'el. Battered by meteors in ancient times and colored mesmerizing shades of blue and green by nature, it is easy to understand why the place is so named. It is here where the Chapral and Mamulja once battled for dominance, that the right of succession would reach its climax.
Yak T'el. Seasickness?
Are you all right?
I've never been good with heights.
The vegetation is far denser than in Kozamautka.
I suggest you pay more attention to the ground, unless you want to walk straight into a cenote.
A cenote?
Sinkholes filled with rain and groundwater. Many meteors fell here long ago, it is said, and after they struck the Earth, it became susceptible to erosion.
Somehow scars from the final days or something?
Deep as some of the pits are, you'll not climb out in a hurry should you take a tumble. So, don't take a tumble.
It was one time.
Is the Shabral community depicted in the Lay of Repast close by?
Aye. We need but follow the path a short way west.
Right. I can't stand here with my knees knocking forever. Let's get going.
Would it kill Aaron to give me the benefit of a doubt or the benefit of a second chance? Why not? Quite, I am sure. A promise doesn't wind up at the bottom of one of those notes. I can hardly fathom how difficult travel must have been before the second promise introduced the rituals. Can you imagine having to walk all this way? Well, the journey was delightful. The wind was fair and the vessel hardly rocked at all. With thicker vegetation comes reduced visibility. I advise you to keep someone in sight at all times. Yak T'el? Evil plants. For all of Aaron's insistence, I've yet to discover anything particularly blue about this forest. Take care not to get separated. I hate to lose you to this rampant undergrowth. See, no tumbles. Things are quiet, Alize, but still it counts. Is that Ikbrash over there, I wonder? Good, everyone is accounted for. Ikbrash is up ahead. Let's be on our way. That's a sinkhole, or what's so blue about this forest? You see. Are also notes this deep, I wonder? Just so you know, I shall be very cross if you push me. Ha! I've fallen into high tide harbor enough times to be a professional diver. There's no way I'd fall into something like this on accident. Can we? No. Aaron was not exaggerating about the notes. It would be a grueling ordeal to climb out of one. Well, thankfully we made it here without incident. Let's not delay any longer. Village of a Hunt. Ready to head on in? Our first task should be finding the Elector. Hopefully our relative tardiness will not reflect poorly upon us. Without promise and a retinue, I presume. You presume right. I seek the Dawn Servant's Elector. Then come and join us in the Garden of the Stars at the village center. Everyone is waiting for you. Everyone? And who might that be? There's but one way to find out. Come, let us follow him. know the other claimants.
At last, we are graced by the presence of the third promise.
If I'd known we'd be waiting on your mangy hide, I wouldn't have bothered with Valigarmanda in the first place.
You self-serving piece of weaver dung! Do you have any idea how many could have been hurt?
Now that we are assembled, let us begin. My name is Hunmuruk. As Ibras Rash, I have the honor of serving as elector on behalf of my people. As all 4 claimants must be present for this feat, we have eagerly awaited your arrival. Third promise, if you would please join us.
Hey.
Thus far, you have faced each other as rivals. The feat of Repast, however, will test your cooperation. You must complete this challenge in teams of 2.
What? You expect us to work with one of these weaklings?
Be warned. Only the triumphant team will receive keystones. I advise you to cooperate with your partner. Teams will be decided by lots. Those who draw the same color will be paired accordingly.
Twelve forbid Wuklamat is paired with Bakul Jaja. After all he's put her through, I wouldn't blame her if she did something rash. I might even help.
Claimants, please present your colors. I have red. Blue. On separate teams, then. And the rest?
Red. Which means...
Connor?
Together again, as fate would have it.
Victory's as good as ours.
With our claimants thus paired, so too is their opposition.
Not the one-head.
Listen well, for the trial that awaits you is as follows. Each team is to prepare a sample of traditional Shebrol cuisine. Shibruk Pibil.
And now we must cook. Another ludicrous feat.
So it might seem, but there's bound to be deeper meaning to it.
Agreed. Given that the very future of our nation is at stake, all parts of this rite must have significance.
Our promises have grown rather promising, wouldn't you say? Indeed. If I were to guess at the significance of the feat, few things reflect the history and development of a culture so clearly as its culinary traditions.
The variety of stewed dishes in Garlean cuisine bespeaks their agricultural roots and cold climes, true.
The peoples we've met on our journey, They've all had different practices involving food and drink. The Hanu replenish their magical energies with reeds, while the Pelu have turned their fondness of beverages into a living. So basically, to know a people's cuisine is to know something of their ways.
With each feat, we have deepened our familiarity with a given community's history and culture. Is this what Father intended for us all along? But a leader with his vision must see that the past doesn't hold the answers we need. It is through embracing innovation, not adhering to tradition, that we will usher Tulliyolal onto a more prosperous future.
But that doesn't mean you can ignore the past.
The rules are simple. The first team to prepare and partake of satisfactory Shibruk Bivir will be deemed victorious. You will be judged by your sample's taste and appearance, as well as your adherence to appropriate cooking techniques. Kitchens have been made available for your use. Note that you may be asked to retry should your dish fail to pass muster. Let the feat of Repast begin.
I've never actually heard of Shibruk Bibil before. What's it like, I wonder?
Okay. So probably we need to first investigate what the recipe even is. Do you suppose the first promise in Bakul Jasha will wear matching aprons? I dearly hope so. The second promise will no doubt have thoughts on how best to proceed. Let us ask for his perspective. Only 2 claimants can receive keystones from this feat. Intimidating perhaps, but irrelevant. We shall prevail. The first promise in Bakul Jasha are formidable in the field, but in the kitchen, I think the odds are in our favor. I consider myself a connoisseur of all things tasty and Tirali, but this is the first I've heard of Shibruk Bibil. For the pairing to be thus decided, the stars align with us indeed. As much as I would have loved to defeat you all in a high-stakes culinary battle, I couldn't have asked for better allies. Unfortunately, this feat's unique stipulations have frustrated Bakul Jasha's attempts to delay us. Serves him right. That's what he gets for endangering my people with his schemes. Why doesn't he just compete fairly? He's bloody strong and obviously has a mind for strategy, twisted what may be. I'll never understand him. Putting aside our competition for the moment, allow me to express how glad I am for this opportunity to work together. As I see it, our team possesses a distinct advantage. Of course we do. Any team I'm on is bound to succeed. Precisely. You mean you have an advantage in numbers, yes? Our competition is a team of 6, the 2 claimants, Sarilja and Bakul Jasha's lackeys. Whereas we are a team of 9, there's 3 more people we can mobilize. With a task to be delegated, it should be a brisk affair to learn the recipe and assemble necessary ingredients. Too easy. Well, we mustn't be overconfident, lest we make a careless mistake that could have been easily avoided. Our first order of business should be determining the recipe of Shibruk Bibil. We can hardly gather ingredients for a dish we know nothing about. Given the nature of this feat, asking for answers directly may prove less effective than simply observing the daily habits of the Jibral people. Let us gather here once we have seen what clues this village has to offer. A number of spices, some entirely unfamiliar to me, are nestled in a basket. That one's called a shot. We mostly use it to add a bit of color to our most popular cuisine, but its medicinal benefits are significant as well. Recipe for Jibruk Pibil. I wish I could tell you, friend. A dish so delicious is meant to be shared. Alas, we are forbidden from divulging anything. Orders from Muruk himself. But your mentioning it gives me a fierce craving, and I hope there's still Ibruk to be had at market. So much for a plan. You ought to cut all losses and head to Mamuk. This feat is nothing but a fool's errand. You're the fool if you think you won't tan our hides for leather if we dare to return without enough keystones. Besides, we've taken from the house cat before. How difficult could the second time be? What are you looking at, salt liquor? Mind your own damn business. So they're already preparing to cheat. What fun this is. An unusually colored banana peel has been neatly arranged on the ground, which appears to be smoking. Oh no, it appears I've gone and dropped my Jatika banana peel. I could barely see it for all the steam issuing from my underground oven. There's nothing like enjoying a tasty banana while you use the leaves in your cooking. Banana with smoke. Okay. Sorry, I'm back. What did you discover about Jibruk Pibil? True to your predictions, the villagers were forbidden from educating us directly. However, many were still preparing it as one might a staple dish. An observation of their techniques yielded clues enough. A lady blending local herbs and spice was only too happy to describe the ones I didn't recognize, while neither confirming nor denying any relation to Jibruk Pibil. But one in particular she attributed to all common Jabal dishes. A shot, she called it. I see. And if Jibruk Pibil is indeed a dish as ubiquitous as Alphino claims, we have confirmed our first ingredients. Meanwhile, I did observe a cook burying bundles wrapped in a leaf of Najul, or banana in certain localities. It would seem the use of subterranean ovens is commonplace. I saw the same. I think we all know what's inside those bundles then, don't you? Let's hear it. Ibruk, without a doubt. As would be expected of a dish called Jibruk Pibil, indeed. So to summarize, this dish is one of Ibruk, flavored with a combination of spices that includes artichoke and steamed underground with inajul or banana leaves. Given our assumptions are correct, we must now learn where and how to procure our ingredients. As a staple cuisine, its ingredients would be close at hand, which is why Fenrir and I scouted the surrounding forests while you all were exploring the village. Between the local vegetation and wild Ibruk, we should have everything we need in regards to meat and spices. Heh, leave it to the master gleaner. With that, we should still divvy up our task. While some gather ingredients, others should make ready the kitchen. I can help prepare a kitchen. Permit me to assist as well. Our ovens will doubtless require firewood. Do I have some experience in its gathering? I too should be glad to volunteer mine aid. Then the rest of us will gather ingredients. I can make quick work of the spices and herbs myself. I'm happy to lead someone to a suitable Ibruk if they will perform the requisite deeds. Alize? As for my jewel leaves, I believe I am capable of acquiring that much on my own. Be warned, you won't find Najul in these parts. They only grow in the Jatika heartland, forests far below these. Such an excursion may be time-consuming. Perhaps we ought to try bartering first. This feat encourages our communication with the locals after all. Lamachi, Desiree, would you accompany me on this errand? No better way to whet my appetite. Good. Let us be about our task then. Lamachi has no specific task assigned to her, so I had her accompany me. No more, no less. Come on, let's go and get those Najul leaves. The sooner we do, the sooner we can eat. Spiced Ibruk wrapped in Najul leaves. That sounds like a winning combination to me. Okay, but we take care of that next time and end the episode here. And then, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.